Virachutaganirjena Ramopi Yuditoshitam Shantanodasa Kamyayam Shakni Shitran Kata Sutam Virashuyutaganirjena Yaramopi Yuditoshitam Santanodase Kanyaya Shakhe Shitran Kata Sutam Virayutaganirjena Ramopi Yuditoshitam Santanodasakam Jageshitran Gatasutta Someone wants to read. Virayam Taganirjena Ramopi Yuditoshitam Santanodasya Kamyayam Shakni Shitran Kadasuta Manu Virayam Taganirjena Ramopi Yuditoshitam Santanodasya Kamyayam Shakni Shitran Kadasuta. What is this? Okay, word for word translation. Virayudha Aganihi. Vishmadev, the foremost of all warriors. Yena, by whom? Rama-api, even Parashuram, the incarnation of God. Yudhi, in a fight, Doshitaha was satisfied when defeated by Bhishmadev. Santana, by Santana, Dasakam Yayam, in the womb of Satyavati, who was known as the daughter of a Sudra. Shachne was born. Shitrangada, Shitrangada, Suddha, a son. Translation. Bhishmadev was the foremost of all warriors. When he defeated Lord Parashuram in a fight, Lord Parashuram was very satisfied with him. By the semen of Santanu in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of a fisherman, Chitrangada, took birth. Purport. By A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki a short purport. Satyavati was actually the daughter of Uparicha Vasu by the womb of a fisherwoman known as Matsya Garbha. Later, Satyavati was raised by a fisherman. The fight between Parashuram and Bhishmadev concerns three daughters of Kasiraj, Ambika, Ambalika, and Amba, who were forcibly abducted by Bhishmadev, acting on behalf of his brother Vichitravirya. Amba thought that Bhishmadev would marry her and became attached to him. But Bhishmadev refused to marry her, for she had taken the vow of brahmacharya. Amba therefore approached Bhishmadev's military spiritual master, Parasuram, who instructed Bhishmadev to marry her. Bhishmadev refused, and therefore Parasuram fought with him to force him to accept the marriage. But Parasuram was defeated and was pleased with Bhishma. So this story we find in the Mahabharata. It's a whole chapter which gives an account of the whole history. And this is chapter 2, Mahabharata. Shikandi's destiny, as told by Bhishmadev himself. So, Bhishmadev said, as you know, I long ago accepted a vow neither to occupy the throne, nor to have children who could claim to it. My father, Santanu, then married the beautiful Satyavati and had 2 sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. He died before his sons were grown, and I was left as their protector. Chitrangada was killed in a battle with the Gandharva king, and Vichitravirya was their sole heir to the throne. As he came to age, I thought it time to find him a wife. So I heard that the king of Kashi had arranged a Svayamvar for his 3 daughters, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. I decided to ride into Kashi on my chariot prepared for battle. Kings and princes had assembled at the Svayamvar from all over the world, all hoping one of the girls would choose to marry them. Upon seeing this, I remembered that the wise approve of many kinds of marriage, but for a Kshatriya, the best is when the bride is snatched from an assembly of warriors after defeating them in a fight. So that was the custom. That's Kshatriya mode. I then announced to the kings that I had decided to carry away all 3 princesses from my younger brother and challenged them to prevent me if they could. Then I took all 3 maidens on my chariot and sped away. The kings were at first surprised, then furious. They pulled on their armor and mounted their chariots. Soon hundreds of them were in pursuit. Thousands of arrows showered down upon my chariot, but I dexterously avoided them all. As the princesses trembled in fear, I took up my own bow and turned to face the kings. I countered the shower of their shafts with my own. At the same time, I pierced every one of my antagonists. So swiftly did I shoot my arrows that my foes were completely confounded and could only applaud my prowess. Some were killed, and others had their weapons smashed and their armor torn off. They retreated and fled in various directions. Shalva, however, continued to chase me. He was determined to win the hand of one of the maidens, and he rushed after me, shouting, "Stay, stay!" Provoked, I faced him, a furious but short-lived battle ensued. I soon overpowered Salva and destroyed his chariot, although I decided not to kill him. I then returned to Hastinapur with the 3 maidens. When I arrived in Hastinapur, the eldest princess, Amba, approached me and said, I had already chosen Salva as my husband. He too accepted me in his heart, and my father agreed to the match. I would have chosen him in the Swayamvar, but you kidnapped me, and I did not have the opportunity. O knower of virtue, tell me, what should I do now? I asked her to wait while I discussed the matter with the Brahmins. It was concluded that Amba should be allowed to go to Salva's city and offer herself to him. We gave her an escort of priests and maidservants and sent her to Salva. When he saw her, however, he said, O lady of fair complexion, I no longer desire to accept you as my wife, for you have already been taken by another. You were led away cheerfully by Bhishma before all the other kings. How can I, who must lay down the law for others, now accept you? You have been touched by another. According to holy books, I cannot accept you as my wife. Amba tried to change Salva's mind, pleading that she had not been happy to be kidnapped. She had gone to Salva at the first opportunity. The king was adamant. He would not accept her. He told the disappointed princess to return to Hastinapur. Weeping like a she-osprey, she thought, what woman in the world could fall into greater trouble than the predicament I now face? I've been robbed of my friend Salva was wronged me. Neither can I now return to Hastinapur, and neither can I go home in such shame and rejected by everyone. Reflecting on the cause of her troubles, Amba decided that I was to blame. She wanted revenge, she wanted revenge. Rather than return to Hastinapur, she chose to go to a hermitage and stay the night. In the morning, the rishis saw her weeping and inquired about her sorrow. The lady told them everything and asked them to help her, but the rishis replied, we have renounced all worldly action. What can we possibly do to help your cause? Amba asked that they allow her to remain with them and to engage in asceticism. She had decided that the calamity that had befallen her was the result of her past sins, and that by practicing penance she could become free of them. The rishis consulted among themselves. Some thought Salva should have accepted her, while others proposed that I should marry her. Eventually, they decided that she should return to her father, for a woman must be always under the shelter of a husband or son or father, but Amba refused to go. She said she would never return to her father's city and suffer disgrace. While the rishis thus sat pondering about what to do, the royal sage Otravana arrived at the hermitage. He took special pity on Amba because he happened to be her maternal grandfather. He became enraged that I had stolen her and thus ruined her life. With his lips trembling in anger, he said, "Oh, Amba, you have grieved enough. Do not go to your father's house, for that will only increase your grief. You should place your case before the great Parasuram. He is my good friend and well-wisher. For my sake, he will surely remove your grief. Either he will convince Bhishma to accept you, or he will slay him in battle. Only this sage is powerful enough to do either." It so happened that Parashuram was due to arrive at the hermitage the next day. He arrived early in the morning, clad in black deer skins and surrounded by his disciples. With an axe over his shoulder and a bow in his hand, he was a frightening sight. Long matted locks hung down from his shoulders, and his eyes blazed like fire. Can someone give me some water, please? So After he had properly received and worshipped by other sages, he sat down with Otravahana and was told of Amba's plight. He called for her and said, "You are dear to me as you are to Otravahana. Tell me what I should do for you, if you like. I can order Bhishma to accept you. If he will not, then I will consume him and all his ministers in battle. Or if you prefer, I will order Shalva. Tell me your decision, O princess." O princess, so Amba replied, "It seems that Bhishma is the cause of my present calamity. I think you should slay him. I have become so vengeful that I now wish only to bring about his death. O great sage, kill that covetous and mean-spirited man for my sake." Parasuram was reluctant to take up arms. To take arms against me, and said, "I will only use weapons if the Brahmins request it. This is my vow. I can, however, make either Bhishma or Salva accept my order. Therefore, select one of them as your husband, fair maiden, and I will do the rest." Amba had already concluded that all she wanted was for me to die. She asked Parasuram again and to challenge me to fight. At that time, another rishi, Akritvana, feeling compassion for Amba, also requested him to fight. Because a Brahmin requested him, Parasuram finally said, "All right, I will go to Bhishma to seek a solution by peaceful means. If he will not accept my words, then I will certainly slay him." The following day, he made his way to Hastinapur with Amba. I worshipped him with all respect, and then he said with anger in his voice, "O Bhishma, in what consciousness did you kidnap Amba? Although you took her by force, then you sent her away. You have robbed her of her virtue, for no other man will now accept her. Therefore, you should accept her either for your brother or for yourself." I replied, "I cannot by any means take back this maiden, for she has given her heart to another. It is always wrong for a virtuous man to accept such a woman. I cannot renounce my duty out of fear, greed, attachment, or pity. This is my vow, O Ram." The sage blazed, "If you do not act according to my instructions, then I shall slay you and all your ministers." He said this repeatedly, and I tried in many ways to calm him with gentle words. Realizing that he was bent upon fighting, I asked, "Why do you wish to fight with me, O best of your race? In my childhood, I was your pupil, and you taught me the military arts." Parasuram replied, "Although I am your preceptor, you have not obeyed my command. There is only one way to gratify me. Either accept this maiden and perpetuate your race, or prepare yourself for death." But my ghost words found no place in my heart. I replied, "O Lord, what you are commanding to me, I cannot do. What is the use of laboring for it? What foolish man would accept into his house a woman sighing for another?" So this chapter goes on for very long, but I will summarize what follows. Then there was a fight between Bhishma Dev and Parasuram. It was a fight for more than 20 days. That Bhishma Dev could not conquer Parasuram, and Parasuram could not conquer Bhishma Dev. And finally, there was a divine intervention, forgot about the details of that. But finally, Parshuram accepted defeat and was pleased with Bhishmadev. But then we have Amba. Amba did great austerities. And she pleased Lord Shiva. And she became the daughter. She took down birth. She became because she got the blessings of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva said, you will take birth as a woman, but you will become a man. So he became the daughter of, I think it was Drupada. He became the daughter. She became, but because I think King Drupada worshipped also Lord Shiva to get a fighter, but Drupada was informed by Lord Shiva that he will get a daughter who will become a man and who will become a Maharathi, a very powerful, a fighter who can fight with 10,000 other warriors, Kshatriyas. So that's a great fighter. But she was born as a woman, as the daughter of the Drupada. But King Drupada, he educated her as a Kshatriya. And from the beginning of her life, she got all the fighting skills. But Lord Shiva said she will become a man, and then will be able to defeat Bhishmadev. She will be the cause of death of Bhishmadev, because this is what Amba wanted, to be the cause of the death of Bhishmadev. But then she came to the age to marry, but she was still not changed into a man. But she was presented from her youth and she got the name Shikandi. And she was presented as a man by everyone, and she was secretly raised as a Kshatriya. And when she came at the point to be married, so the king Drupada arranged for a marriage with a girl, but then a princess from another king. But then after the marriage, the other king found out, but it's a woman. My daughter is married with a woman, and he decided to start a fight against the king about that. But then the servants of Kuvera, one of the servants of Kuvera, he had a great mystic power, and he said, I will turn her into a man. But after the fight, after the killing of Bhishmadev, she must come back and we exchange again gender. She becomes a woman again. So she was turned into by the servant of Kuvera, who is a disciple of Lord Shiva also. in a man. And then the other king felt, okay, it's a man. Good, good. But then we know in the Mahabharata, during the Battle of Kurukshetra, that Shikandi was fighting at the side of the Pandavas against Bhishmadev. And I think it's a 10th day or so. The 10th day Bhishmadev decided to, he promised Duryodhana, tomorrow I will kill the Pandavas. And Duryodhana had kept 5 special arrows with mystic powers to kill these 5 Pandavas. And he would give them the next day to Bhishmadev so that he could kill the Pandavas. But Krishna knew about this. And he said to Arjuna, Duryodhana has given you before a boon. Duryodhana has said to Arjuna, you can ask me whatever you want, I will give it. So now it's the time to ask for that boon. And in the evening, Arjuna went to the camp of Duryodhana, and Duryodhana asked, what do you want? Do you want the kingdom without fighting? And Arjuna said, no, I want just these 5 arrows. So he got his 5 arrows. But then the next day, Bhishmadev had vowed, today I will kill Arjuna. I will fight so strong that Krishna will have to defend him and break his vow. So he fought very fervently, but we may remember at the beginning of the fight of Kurukshetra, that's interesting. You see the beginning of the Battle of Kurukshetra, the first day, you have the two parties, and before they blew the conch shell, Yudhishthira goes into the middle and gives an announcement. Yes, those who want to fight from Duryodhana's side, who want to fight with me, come over now. And then we know that the Pandavas went to see Bhishmadev and asked him for his blessings. They went to the other side to ask for the blessings of Bhishmadev and touched his feet. And then the question was asked, how can we kill you, Bhishmadev? And Bhishmadev said, you can only kill me if you put Shikandi before you. Arjuna should shoot arrows and should hide beyond Shikandi. Because I made a vow, I will never fight with a woman. So Shikandi was shooting his arrows to Bhishmadev, and Bhishmadev would not avoid them, would just accept them. But they put the chariot of Shikandi before Arjuna's, and that's Arjuna was behind, and then Shikandi would, because Bhishmadev would not attack Shikandi, so he was behind. And then Shikandi would go at the side, and then Arjuna would send his arrows with great force and hit Bhishmadev, and that's how finally Bhishmadev came to his end due to Shikandi. And that's the whole story. That there are many details. I forgot many names, the details, but that is what's mentioned here in the purport. This story with Ambika, Ambalika, and Amba, 3 daughters of Kasiraj, and the fight between Parasuram and Bhishmadev. Otherwise, We have heard all these names, and there's a lot of story behind, also from Santanu and King Santanu and Bhishmadev taking this vow, and because Santanu, his father, Santanu was before Madvisu in the heavenly planets. He was a demigod. And in the assembly of demigods with Brahma, they were having a sangha. And in that sangha, they were dancing, chanting, and Ganga was there. And there was a fierce wind, and that blew away the clothes of Ganga. And all the other demigods looked at the other side. But Madvisu looked at the naked body of Ganga and could not withdraw his sight. And Brahma said, this is not the behavior of a demigod. You will have to be punished for that. You will go back to the earth. We will go to the earth, and stay one lifetime on earth as a king, Santanu. So he became Santanu, that the great king, that father of Bhishmadev, because Santanu then met, he met Ganga. And of course, Ganga agreed to become his wife on condition that he never should question her, whatever she would do, that he would not criticize her. But then that goes together because they had children. And when a child was born, Ganga would take the child and throw it into the river, kill it in the Ganga, one after another. So 6 times it happened. But the 7th time, when a son was born, then Santanu said, why are you killing my children? And Ganga said, oh, you broke the agreement. You broke the agreement, I'm going. But I will give you this son. You can keep this son. I will take him first to the heavenly planets and educate him and give him back. His name is Devavrata. That was Vishnudev. And why did Ganga do that? Because in the heavenly planet there were the 7 Vasus, that one of the great demigods, 7 Vasus, and the head of the 7 Vasus was Jao. And Jao's wife said, this great sage, I forgot the name of the sage, has a Kamadenu. He has a cow that fulfills all desires, gives all key for the sacrifice, whatever you want. So his wife said, oh, Joe, it would be good we have this cow. Then all our problems are solved, whatever we want. So he went to the sage and asked for this cow, but he would not give it. So Zhao and the 7 Vasus decided, we steal this Kamadenu. So they stole the Kamadenu. Of course, But then the sage became, was it Vishwamitra? I don't know, was a sage, and he decided to curse these 7 Vasus to become humans, that to fall down to the earth. So all these Vasus became to their senses. They came before the sage and said, please, please retract this curse. Be merciful to us. Then the sage said, I cannot retract it, but because Jiao is the main culprit who is the leader of the Vasus, he will have to stay an entire life on earth, and your stay will be, and the other 6, your stay will be very short. And then Ganga was asked to execute his foe to make it true. So they appeared as her children. But all the power of these 6 other Vasus were given to Bhishmadev, to Jiao, when he appeared. And he appeared as Devavrata with an immeasurable power. And that is Bhishmadev. But then later, as mentioned here, because that Santani wanted to marry Satyavati, who appeared in the womb of a fisherwoman, and King Santana became attracted to this woman, and he asked her father to give her his daughter in marriage. But his father said, no, there is one great astrologer who has said that the sons of my daughter will be the emperor of the whole world. If I give my hand to you, to King Santana, the hand of my daughter, then your sons, your sons, the sons which are living now, like Bhishmadev and so on, they will also marry, and there the sons will become the king. So I cannot do that. So when Devavrata heard this, that his father Santana wanted to marry this Satyavati, but this fisherman refused on that condition, then Devavrata he himself went to see the fisherman and asked, please give your daughter to my father, because his father was so attached to Satyavati and became depressed. And Devavrata, he asked, please give your daughter. But then the fisherman explained the same thing. You will also marry, and your sons will then become the king. That, no. And so at that moment, Devavrata, he made this vow: I will never marry again. I will never marry. I will remain long time, lifelong brahmachari. And I will renounce the throne also. And on that condition, when he made this vow, the demigods showered flowers, and they said, Bhishma, Bhishma, great vow. And therefore, Bhishmadev got the name, Devavrata became Bhishmadev. That is the origin of Bhishmadev. That's and then you have this fight here with for Ambika, Ambadika, and Amba, and the story of Amba, Sikandi, and so on. This is all part of the story of Mahabharata. If you want to read all the details, you read Mahabharata. It's good for the devotees also to read Mahabharata. Of course, our focus is on Bhagavatam. But if you read Mahabharata, you will also understand the storyline and the Bhagavatam more deeply. Any comments? Yes?
Question about these events. Do they happen in Bprs Yuga? Like, just before the
Yes, that happened before Kurukshetra. That I cannot say how many years before, but Bhishmadev was already quite old when he was on the battlefield. Of course, they were endowed with great powers, and even in Dwapara Yuga, the people were living much longer.
It's the lifespan to imagine properly, to understand properly.
I know it was about 100,000 years in Satya Yuga, and then Treta Yuga, about 10,000 years of sun, and then it came down to Dwapara Yuga, Kali 200 years, and in Kali Yuga we go from, well, a little more. So Bhishma was already more than 100 when the fight was going on. But then in Kali Yuga it goes from 100 to 30 years at the end. At the end, if you are 30 years, you are a very old man at the end of Kali. And then Satya Yuga starts again. There's a Sandhya between, but anyway, we have to get out of here before. That's most important. Question. Something else? Yes?
I'm just wondering why did Bhishma tell Arjuna how he could be killed? Right? When you say that he asked like how can you kill him?
The point is, if you read the Mahabharata, so why did Bhishma tell how he would be killed? That in the like that Jayadratha, he knew he would be killed by Arjuna. He knew it before. That there are more instances like that they knew, oh, this person will kill me because of karma, past karma. Anyway, that astrologers could say these things. So they knew these things. That also when especially Bhishma Dev, it was Bhima when Draupadi was they tried to disrobe Draupadi. So Bhima made a vow. I will break the die of Duryodhana, and I will eat the blood of Dushasana. Eat his heart, very horrible, but he did. So they knew that Tristadyumna had the powers to defeat. He got the powers to defeat one time the course. That's in Bhagavad Gita, you can read that. That in the first verses, and it said, your disciple, Tristadyumna, son of Drupada, has expertly arranged the formation of the army of the Pandavas. So that's the point, that Duryodhana has instructed Tristadyumna, but Tristadyumna would kill him, would fight against him. So they knew all these things. They had much more knowledge. They knew their destiny practically. But still, the fight was unavoidable, and they had to do their duty. But these things difficult to understand for us, but then many knew. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Is it also fair to say that Bhishma wanted the Pandavas to happen? Even though he was forced by them.
Bhishma Dev wanted Maharaj Yudhishthira on the throne. His heart was with the Pandavas. But for political reasons, he had to fight with the other party, because Dharma says, yeah, those who maintain you must take their side. Anyway, that's a whole discussion. It is said also that because Bhishma Dev was taking the food from the Kauravas, he became contaminated. But then at the end, he was on the bed of arrows. There was no blood anymore in his body. But by the mystic power he got, because that was given by the demigods to Devavrata. At the moment he made this vow, they blessed him. You can decide when you die yourself. If you don't want to die, you don't die. So although the blood was out of his body, he didn't die. But he wanted to live with Krishna in front of him, in full Krishna consciousness. That was his desire. And Krishna arranged for that desire. He was a great devotee of Krishna. But it's a warning for us. Even if we take the wrong side, we can never be successful. Never. That's not possible. Bhishma Dev could not be successful in the fight, although he was unconquerable. That's a great lesson. I guess. Good. Anyway, yeah, over time. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.